tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, AfterBuzzers, Ashley Allen here, and I'm here with the beautiful Miss Ashley North. How are you today?
Good. It's an Ashley double sandwich.
It is. I like that.
I like it too.
There's never too many Ashleys, right?
No, I have so many friends named Ashley. Do you have any friends named Ashley?
I have cousins named Ashley. I have friends named Ashley. It's ridiculous.
Because I have a friend named Ashley, and we're together all the time, and we sort of look alike. Not really, but people ask us if we're sisters, and it drives me crazy because it's like, why would our parents both name us Ashley if we were sisters? Like, at least say cousins or something. Guys are stupid.
I know.
Anyways.
People, whatever. So we have the Ashley duo here today, and we've seen you all over the place. We've seen you on WAGs. We've seen you doing your own thing. You're a stylist. So first I want to jump into WAGs. Tell me, what was your experience like on WAGs?
You know what? I realized when I got on WAGs that I was not cut out for reality television.
Really?
You know, it was a good experience at the time. It taught me a lot about myself, and it also showed me that I really enjoyed being in front of the camera, because prior to that I had just done work behind the camera. So I liked that aspect of it, but the reality TV drama stuff I don't like to deal with.
It can be draining, right?
It's extremely draining. It's stressful, you know, because it's like you want to present your quote unquote best self to the world, and when you don't have control over, you know, how you're being portrayed, it gets a little tricky, and that's what I didn't like.
So what was one thing that you would say that you've learned from doing reality TV about yourself?
I think just like the being in front of the camera, I realized that it was fun to be in front of the camera, and so now I've, you know, started to pursue that in my career in other venues, like more fashion-related venues and stuff that's more true to who I am, and so that's kind of what I learned.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, that's a great way to step into it, right?
Yeah, no, and I don't knock the experience. It was a really good experience. I'm happy that I did it, and now we just kind of move on.
Yeah. I mean, experience is the best teacher. So
for sure.
You went, you did it, you learned, and here we are now.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about, I know you're getting to TV hosting, like you said, being in front of the camera. So how's that been going for you? What are you doing to take that leap of faith into that field?
You know, I just like any opportunity that's thrown at me to like host or get in front of a camera, I'm doing it. So I'm doing a little bit of everything right now. I hosted Fashion Week in Palm Springs. Yesterday I hosted an event at Sephora. So it's really right now, it's just getting comfortable in front of the camera and just trying to, you know, be comfortable and show my personality, you know, because it's really something that I want to pursue. So it's just kind of like doing it, whatever it might be. Book me for the next
That's
job,
right.
guys. And book me. I'm ready. Book us both.
Yeah, Ashley duo. Come on now. We got caramel chocolate here.
We're the perfect match.
So if you could get a call right now for an amazing hosting opportunity, what would be one thing that you would want to host right now?
I want to host the red carpet for the Oscars.
Yes.
Put me out there. I want to do it. I want to be like interviewing people like, oh, hey, it's someone. How are you, someone?
And that's perfect. I mean, because you have personality, and then, of course, you know all about the fashion.
Yeah, so that's why I think it'll be really fun, you know, to like talk with people like, what are you wearing? What inspired you? Like, da-da-da. That's like... And also doing the recap after it is always fun, because then you get to be kind of shady to people.
Right. Always got to throw a little bit of shade.
Yeah, got to throw a little bit of shade.
So from the hosting gigs that you have had so far, what is one thing that you've learned, or what's something that, I mean, I think people look at hosting and they think it's easy, but what's one thing that you've learned and you experienced so far? It's like, okay, oh, that's not that easy.
It's not that easy. It's not as easy as it looks, and like it takes preparation. You know what I mean? You can't just. I did this one time, and I would not suggest it. You know, like just going out there and kind of like freestyling. Yeah, like no, you shouldn't do that. Like there's preparation that takes place. You have to kind of like look into like whatever it is, whoever you're talking to or whatever you're hosting. You need to have some background so that you can feel comfortable. So it takes a lot more, you know, on the back side of it than I think people realize. And it's difficult. Like you think you can like have all this personality and just like turn it on, but sometimes the camera turns on and you're like, What am I talking about? Like last night when I was hosting this Sephora event, and I had, I was all ready. We had talked about what I was introing and everything, and I get up there and I'm like, hey guys, do like whatever? And I'm like, the first thing is, what's the name of this machine? Like, I had to look at it. I was like, Perk. Yes, it's the Perk Hydrating Facial, guys. Like, I was like, oops.
But it happens though. I think that's the beauty of being a host. Like, it teaches you how to think on your feet, think quickly, and those mistakes are only going to make you better, right?
For sure. I learned from all of it. So it's fun. I can laugh at myself and then just move on.
Just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously, or it's going to become more of a job than a passion.
Yeah, right? And that's like what I feel like it's so important, and I feel like I've done this far in my career, is I don't really look at my job as work, and so I want to continue to do things that I love and have a passion for, so that I never really look at it as work. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like I said, you have a lot of jobs, a lot of work. You're a stylist, TV host, but you're also a mother.
Yes.
So how do you balance all of those things on top of being a mother and a role model?
I'm so tired all the time. No, you know what? It's easy. And at the end of the day, as long as you prioritize your family, which is what I do, I feel like everything sort of falls into place. I really make it a priority to spend the time that I can with my kids, and to let them know, like, okay, mommy's got to go. I've got to work. I'm doing this for you guys. I want you to be proud of me. So, but it's just taking those little moments, even if it's like getting up a little bit earlier, or, you're tired and want to lay down and take a nap, but I'm going to take my baby to my gym. That's what happened yesterday. I was tired, but I was like, no, we have our my gym class. I'm going to do it. You just kind of have to push through, but it's all worth it in the end.
What do you do to take care of yourself?
That's a good question. You know what? I watch a lot of reality TV. Once I put the girls to bed, I literally just like to lay in the bed and like veg out on I watch everything reality. Like, name it, I watch it. I literally was binge watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation this morning.
I haven't started watching it. Is it good?
Oh, it's so good. Snooki is everything you want her to be. She really is. She's the good old Snooki. It's great. It's really good.
So what's one thing, we're in Hollywood, there's a lot of people out here, there's a lot of crazies out here. What is one thing that you teach your daughter about like being a woman and empowering and letting her know that she's beautiful?
Yeah, you know what? That's one thing, like with my daughters, I tell them all the time that they're beautiful and they're smart and they're funny and you're kind. Like, I'm constantly just giving her affirmations, because I think the more that you get that when you're young, it instills it in you. And then the main thing that I like to teach my daughters, and really just women in general, is like integrity. I feel like it's so important just to stay true to yourself, and like you can get really lost in this industry, and there's a lot of people taking the back way and doing things maybe that aren't necessarily the way that I would suggest doing it. And I feel like however much you may think that may take you farther or faster, in the end, I think if you stay true to who you are, you're going to win in the long run. And that's what I like to preach.
Yeah, and I always say that what's meant for you will be for you.
100%.
So you don't have to do all
Don't compare yourself to people either. Like, I think in this, this social media that, it's all encompassing, like it's all around us all the time. And so it definitely, you have a tendency to start like comparing yourself to others. But like you said, it's your path. You will get there when it's your time. Everything is meant to be, will be, and all that.
And there's enough room for everybody, right?
There is. I feel like as women, we tend to like compete with each other and stuff, but there's enough room for everybody. I mean, even like in the industry that I'm in with styling, it's competitive. There's so many stylists, but there's room for everybody. There's a client for everybody, and you just got to go with that.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest misconception about being a WAG or being married to someone who's in the spotlight?
I think the biggest misconception is like, probably that we're like all gold diggers and we're just with the men because of the money or the fame or whatever. I think that's definitely a misconception. I have a lot of friends that I've made within, being a WAG, right, that, they have careers and they're mothers and they do a lot of things outside of their husband. And I think sometimes you can get lost behind being a WAG, and that was something that I never stood for nor wanted to be. I always wanted to set myself apart in that way.
Yeah. And that's one thing I think I appreciated about watching you on the show is that you made sure that, you know, you're there for your man, you're there for your daughter, and you also have your own thing going on. So how did you get into styling? What was that like?
It was funny. So I'm originally from Seattle, and so I went to the University of Washington. I thought I wanted to get into PR. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a publicist. This is what I want to do. I did my internship the last quarter and was like, oh, no, I could never do this. You know, so I'm like, okay, now I'm graduating, don't know what I want to do. I went to work for a local magazine in Seattle, and it was a small magazine. And so I started working with the photographer, like creating like these fashion shoots, like, and I was like, oh my God, I love this. I started like getting clothes and putting them on the models and picking the models and picking the location. I was like, this is so much fun. So I literally immediately was like, I'm moving to LA. I'm going to fashion school. I want to be a stylist. And I did it.
So what was that process like, or what advice would you give to someone who wants to be a stylist? Because I think a lot of people think, oh, you just go shopping, you just pick clothes and that's it. But of course, there's more work that goes into it.
It's a lot harder than you think. You know, just like the hosting, you know, styling is a lot more than just shopping and putting clothes on somebody. There's a whole business side to it. And, you know, you really have to build a brand and build a business. It's so much more than just being creative. And I would say that's the hardest part of it, because as a stylist, like, you're a creative type of person. So the business side of it is extremely important and difficult too. And I always tell you know, like, there's so many girls that want to be stylists right now. And my suggestion is always to reach out to a stylist that you admire and really start from the bottom. Like, tell them you want to intern, you know, like, because there's so much that you need to learn about the game and how things operate. And that the only way that you can do that is on the job training. So that's what I always suggest. Like, fashion school is great, and I always love to, you know, I think it's important to go to school just to have that foundation. But in the end, in the styling game, it's really about getting in with a stylist, assisting and working your way up.
Yeah, getting that experience, right?
Yes, 100%.
So what is a day in the life of a stylist? So let's say you get a call from Kevin Hart. I know it's one of your clients. As long you've also worked with Usher and Justin Bieber. So what is it like when you get that call? What is the process into finally getting that final look?
Yeah, so I always like to start, I feel like communication with your client is so important, because I can put you in what I think looks good, but I feel like to really nail a look, the client needs to feel it too, and it needs to be an expression of them as well. So I always like to communicate with the client first, like, okay, you're going to the Oscars, like, how are you feeling? Like, what are you thinking? Like, how, you know, and then we kind of talk about it, and then, you know, you go out and pull, you may contact brands for them to send you stuff, and then you go through the fitting process, you find your look. And then with men, you know, tailoring is so important. So I have an amazing tailor that I work with, and, you know, and then it comes day of and you put it on the man and spruce him up, accessorize, and then it's so much fun to see your finished product on like a red carpet or, you know, on TV or wherever they may end up.
Have you ever had a disaster situation? I'll share a story of mine. I used to do pageants, and I had an evening gown. I had it fitted. Everything was perfect. And it was the day of the pageant, and I ended up losing weight in my dress. I was drowning in my dress. Have you ever had an experience like that where it's just like, oh my God, last minute something happened, and what do you do to recover?
Just pray. No, that happened one time because, you know, like recently with Keven, because he's so busy, you know, so sometimes it's hard to lock him into a fitting. So on occasion, because we work with a tailor all the time, the tailor knows his measurements. It's like fine, you know, so sometimes we'll tailor something not from actually pinning it on him, but just from his measurements, or like another pair of pants. And this one pair of pants, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the fabric or what, but it did not fit. And it was awful. And then you're
tight?
like, they were too tight and they were like a little too short. And so I was like, you know, I'm like, he's about to walk on stage and I'm like trying to like pull his pants, like to like make him like loosen up and like come down, you know, but at the end of the day, Kevin can always pull something off because he'll make a joke out of it. Yeah. And so then it's perfect. He'll be like, yes, my pants, did it, you know, like, so that's what's been really great about working with him. Like, even when there's a little flub like that, he'll play it into his routine, and then it's the joke, and then we meant to do that.
Yeah. See, that's the good thing about style. Like, you make it fit you, you make it work. You got to. And like we were talking about earlier, like, you don't have to follow a trend. You make your own trend, or you just make it fit you. Yeah. So I like classic pieces. So what is a classic piece that is a go-to for you?
So I'm a big suit girl. Like, I love men in suits. I think they look amazing. I think every man needs at least a few really great suits in his closet. I am a super fan right now of a double-breasted, just like a classic double-breasted suit. I think it goes a long way, and it's kind of like something different from just your classic. And I love that the double-breasted, you can wear it with a button-up, you can wear a double-breasted with a t-shirt, but you're always going to look super classic and also really like cool. I think it just makes you look like cool, like I'm cool.
This is very sexy, right?
Yes, it's like, I want to take that off you, but only if you're my fiance.
We approve of that, right? So do you find it harder to work with women or men, or what do you prefer? What's easiest?
I like working with men, and I don't know if it's just because I've done it for so long, and also even when I was assisting and coming up, I worked with stylists that did mostly men. So it's just sort of what I came up under, and then once I started styling on my own, I've mostly worked with men. So I love it. I've come to love men's fashion, but I also think it's easier to work with men. Like, women, we're difficult. We change our mind. Like, with a man, it's like, this is what you want to wear? Cool, done. Great, you look great. Like, women need a little bit more like zhuzhing.
It's all about the mood, because that's why I can't pick out my clothes at night, because if I pick them out at night and I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to wear that anymore.
Feel that, and then you might feel bloated, or like your bra doesn't look right. Like, it's so many working parts with women. Men are much simpler.
So, of course, you style other people, but what is your style? Like, what is a go-to piece for you? What do you like to wear? Are you like the comfy girl, the sexy girl?
I am 100% the comfy girl, like, to a certain extent. I like to call my style tomboy chic. Ooh. So I definitely have that very, like, sort of like masculine, like, vibe. Like, I like denim and like vintage t-shirts and blazers and stuff like that. But then you just add like a little bit of a feminine twist to it. And so that's kind of how that's how I like to dress, like, where there's just a little bit sexy, but really I'm like comfortable. Yeah.
And side note, this is off track, her skin is amazing, you guys. Okay. Yes.
You know what? Today I used a new foundation.
It looks great.
Fenty.
Me too.
Yes. See? I love it.
It was looks really good.
I wanted to be Rihanna's shade, but I'm actually not. I'm a shade above what she is.
It looks great on you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Hey. I know you have some other ventures that you are currently launching, so fill me in about that.
So I'm currently in the process of launching a lifestyle brand, and the first thing that I'm coming out with is candles. And so I have some candles coming out, and they'll be here in the middle of May. That's my goal. My launch date is the middle of May. I'm fine-tuning a few things right now, so we should be good to go for the middle of May. Coming out with 3 different scents to start, and I love it. It's like my baby. It's been such a fun process. I've always been a huge candle fan. I know. Candles, like, I always say, they really set the tone for your home. And it's like you can have like a signature scent for your home. And I think it's going to be so amazing to be a part of that and be able to go into someone's home and kind of like set the tone. And so it's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to growing in that. And then, the next step, I want to get into other home accessories like throw pillows and blankets, like just little accessories for the home. But the first thing is candles.
I love that. I mean, anybody who's been to my house, they know I always have candles. I have candles on deck. Like,
they're necessary.
They're necessary.
Yes, they're absolutely necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love that you're getting to the home decorating, because, I mean, of course, you're a stylist and you're creative. So I also believe that your home, how it's decorated, how it looks, the vibe says a lot about 100%.
you. 100%. It like creates a whole life style. You know what I mean? So it goes beyond just your clothes, and I believe in that. Like, I feel like your home is a direct representation as much as your clothes are. So it's fun to kind of be able to shift into that and be able to not just do clothing but also home. It's something that I've loved for a while, and like once we bought our first home and I started decorating it, I was like, oh my God, I love this. It's so much fun. So yeah.
So what's something that you haven't done that you would like to do, whether it's a vacation or an activity? What's something fun that you would like to try? I recently went jet skiing for the first time, and it was the funnest but scariest thing of my life.
I know. Jet skiing is so much fun, but then it's like also awful when you fall off. Did you fall?
I didn't, but...
That's why I only like to drive. If you get behind somebody, you guarantee you'll fall off and it hurts.
Yeah.
I hate that.
That's what I was scared of.
So the one place, I guess there's one place that I am dying to travel to and I haven't been, and that's South Africa. It's like a goal of mine. I want to go there. I would like to, do the city and all that, but then I'd also like to go out into other parts of Africa. Like, I have a dream of staying at that hotel where the giraffes come to your window. Like, I love giraffes so much. Like,
there's a hotel?
In my house, you'll see several giraffes in my home. There's a hotel where you're like, I don't know, it's like a giraffe observe, what's that called where they live? Yeah. Reservation. Okay. A giraffe. And so they're just on the property, and like literally the pictures online, like a giraffe will stick its head in your like window and you can like feed them and everything. So that's a goal of mine.
That's so cool. Well, I hope you make it there one day.
I think when my girls get a little bit older, because I'd love to be able to take them with me. So they're still a little young now. So I think when they get a little bit older, we'll make it a family trip.
Awesome. Well, what else can we expect from you? What else do you have going on?
More styling. Hopefully you'll see me on your television screens. And then please, check out my candles. They're coming out middle of May. You can follow me on Instagram, Ashley North Style, for all updates. And, just stay tuned.
Yes. Style House, maybe?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. We'll speak everything into it. I'm going to try to get my hands in a little bit of everything.
Do it, girl.
Mogul. That's what I want.
Yes, do it. You're doing great out here. You have a lot of people watching. I'm watching, supporting, and rooting for you. So keep it going.
Thank you so much.
Of course. I appreciate you. And thank you, AfterBuzzers, for joining us here for another episode of Spotlight On. I'm your host, Ashley Allen, and we'll see you next time.